we move to the next. We move to the next news video, and we gotta focus on. We will focus on MLW in this video, but also we have a much needed update on the potential return of Big E. But first, we jump to a potential update on a WWE NXT call up through the draft. And that is somebody who just participated on main event, and that being Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate just participated in a main event match on main event against Dolph Ziggler, and there is now a potential, based on the success of that match with Dolph Ziggler, that Tyler Bate could be getting called up because he impressed the right people. He impressed the right people because through that match, and if there's anything I've done since I started doing these videos through WWE 2K22, it's I've reaped heavy praise on Tyler Bate. I, for one, think that Tyler Bate has extensive potential up on the main roster. It would be great to see Tyler Bate in another match against Gunther, as I do believe Gunther and Tyler Bate fought a few times on NXT. I'm gonna say they might have fought in NXT UK. I don't know for certain. I never watched NXT UK. But I would love to see that match. I would love to see Bate versus Pete Dunne. There's a number of matches I would love to see on the main roster. And I think that Tyler Bate would easily fit in on the main roster. Speaking of MLW, though, we will get there in a sec. Speaking of MLW, though, former top MLW star Richard Holliday, who, just finished chemotherapy sessions to fight back stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, is currently a free agent with the company, or free agent in wrestling. And Court Bauer said in a recent interview with Busted Open Radio that if Richard Holliday is ready to return and wants to return to MLW, that the door is always open for a return. Honestly, I think this is more the fact that they don't know if he'll be able to return, and he's not in the condition to be able to return just yet. Even though he finished his chemo treatments, he is not in a position to return at this very moment, and therefore that's why he is a free agent and not re-signed, and did not re-sign with the company. I do hope to see Richard Holliday back in MLW. I do hope to see Richard Holliday back in wrestling, and I wish him nothing but the best. Speaking of somebody that I think a lot of people wish they... I gotta work on my segues. Going to the other side of the coin, though, somebody that I think a lot of people would be happy if they never saw back in wrestling, Goldberg. Goldberg was released earlier this year, or officially became a free agent. That's the segue. Speaking of another free agent, Bill Goldberg, who was let go by WWE earlier this year. There were rumors around Goldberg earlier this year about what could happen, where he could go, and what could be done. But the fact of the matter is, nothing came of it. And now Goldberg basically spoke on a recent radio appearance about his wrestling career and said, for lack of a better word, that he is not ready to retire just yet, and nobody decides when his career is over but him. So he is going to go on a 4-city retirement tour, and then he will address his in-ring career at the end of the 4-city retirement tour. I do think that the retirement tour is non-wrestling related. But I really don't think that there is much for Goldberg to do in wrestling at this point. I'm not saying he should not be able to have I'm not saying he should not be able to have a retirement match if that's what he wants, but I think that him having a retirement match and trying to have it at WrestleMania is something that wasn't viable. But maybe what Cultaholic, what the folks at Cultaholic said about, Crown, the Saudi Arabia shows coming up. Why not let Goldberg have a match in Saudi Arabia and call it his retirement match? I think that is the most viable way and the easiest way, and would be the easiest way to have Goldberg, and would be the easiest way to have Goldberg call it a career, because I don't really know how many times Goldberg has competed in Saudi Arabia, but it feels like 90% of the time when he's been in action, he's competed on the Saudi Arabia shows. But that's just my opinion on the matter. I think if anything, you have him compete on one of the Saudi Arabia shows, you call it a career, you let Goldberg pick his opponent, but not pick if he wins or loses. Because the fact of the matter is, if Goldberg is going out, he should be going out on his back. But again, that's just my opinion. Now we move over to an interesting announcement from Court Bauer. This comes from Fightful. This breakdown comes from Fightful as Court Bauer spoke on a recent edition of Bustin' Open Radio. And he said there's the number one thing that fans have been asking is, how can I see MLW live? That's one of the things that we've been working on since pre-pandemic. It was something we were working on with DAZN, and then DAZN's whole model changed, and they went from attacking us to being more of an international business. Now we are finally at the point where we're pretty deep in our conversations. I can tell you that MLW is going live this year. We are developing a few tentpoles. We have established some, such as War Chamber, Battle Riot, or Super Fight for us. The next step is adding Supercards to the lineup, where you can watch it on the world, where you can watch it worldwide, live worldwide. We have had conversations and now have received bids, we should be announcing something before the summer. That is amazing to hear, and I am happy for them, to be honest with you, because it gives the boys another place to work. And it allows for the opportunity to, it allows the opportunity for more growth within wrestling, with companies like MLW doing quite well. It took me a while to, piece together the proper way to say it. But now we shift over to Big E, as Big E probably should have looked at the other one, because the other one broke it down a little bit more simple. Big E, it was a complicated, it just takes a little bit more time to heal. We did the 1 year scans after WrestleMania. It was a little later because of WrestleMania. We need to sit down with the doctors at some point and figure out what the next step is. But from my perspective, I feel great. No functional issues, no pain issues. I have been in the gym since 2 weeks after I broke my neck. I'm feeling great. I'm really grateful for that. Obviously, your neck needs to be in a certain condition to be able to deal with the rigors of being on the road and in the ring on a nightly basis. It does seem positive. It does seem, it does honestly seem positive for the outlook of Big E. But I think that that is exactly what Big E needs to do. He needs to sit down with the doctors and get medically cleared. I think that seems like the next step for Big E when it comes to getting back in the ring and rejoining WWE as a whole. I think that is the only thing that Big E needs to do now. And once that is done, and once that is something that we can report, that is going to be one of the bigger days of wrestling, or bigger things, I should say, one of the bigger stories in wrestling in recent times, because I think everybody will be excited to see Big E back in the WWE. No matter the position, no matter what he's doing, everybody will be excited to see Big E back in WWE. And that's not just me. I think everybody will be excited to see him back. So I am grateful. It is grateful there. It is great to hear that Big E is doing okay. It is great to hear that Big E is in great spirits. He's in great condition. It's great to hear. I will look forward to the next update, and whenever the mention of Big E coming back is on the tip of our tongues. But we got one more story to get to, and that is that WWE is now allowing reached an agreement that allowed talent to go back and start streaming again. This is from the Wrestling Observer. A report from Fightful in April 2022 stated that WWE talent were informed that they would soon be able to monetize content on third-party platforms again. However, it took until recently for an agreement to be reached with Twitch. Now, I don't think that basically it means that the agreement was reached with Twitch. I think it was that the agreement needed to be reached with WWE and its talent. According to Fightful, according to a report from Fightful, WWE and the video gaming streaming platform have. Oh no, it is with WWE and Twitch. Yeah, it is with WWE and Twitch. WWE has reached a deal with the video game streaming platform that will allow WWE talent to broadcast on the platform with almost no restrictions. However, one restriction does exist, and that is WWE talent would need permission to bring performers on from other companies onto their streams, which makes sense. Revenue earned will be split three ways between WWE, the talent, and Twitch, with the talent and Twitch receiving a majority of what is generated. I mean, that is fair, and I know from my experience with Twitch, I believe it's 70-30, I want to say. I think it's a 70-30 split. But it is a very pleasant thing to hear that WWE is allowing their talent to go back on the platform, as I know a lot of people like AJ Styles, Zelina Vega, people like that were very miffed, specifically Zelina Vega, were very miffed about the idea of WWE stopping them like they did a couple years ago. But that is it for the news today. That is it for the news today. Let me know down in the comment section below anything you want to speak about, and I will see you in the next